Hey,
Yeah,
Miss Capel, Liz Benny here, and oh my little old lord, I am so incredibly, amazingly blessed, excited to introduce Gio, Mr. Serious, to the call today. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. I'm super excited to be here.
Oh, you don't sound it, but that's fine because we're going to get into that.
Mr. Stoic.
Oh, this is amazing. So, everyone listening and watching right now, I want you to experience a raw, real, honest, transformational story with incredible, amazing Geo. He's come into the Kapow world. He's been through two experiences in the Kapow arena now, one in the Kapow Future Now program and one privately. Both experiences have been blissfully, gorgeously amazing for me to have the experience to watch his transformation. And today, honestly, we're just going to have a conversation about what his experience was like. There is no script here whatsoever. My goal here is that you get to see yourself in Geo's journey and you get to assess for yourself as to whether you would like to take yourself on a journey as well. So, Geo, I have a question for you. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, cool.
Let's do it.
So, raw, real, and honest. Why, when you were offered the opportunity to come into Capel Future Now, why did you say yes? What part of you was like, oh hell yes, I want this, or maybe I don't want it, but I think I should? Like, where were you at in that journey?
Yeah, I think for me, I one thing I've definitely caught about myself at times is I have self-sabotaging tendencies, and I had a few of those at the time where at a high level, I knew I needed to break through a lot of those things, but I was giving myself every story to not actually work through the inner blocks that I had. So it was just deciding and just making a decision that I wanted to go against everything that was telling me no. And I didn't want it to be me versus me. I wanted to become me and me on the same team. So that ultimately led to me jumping in. And obviously, I'll share a little bit more my experience from the first round versus the second round uh, was very different because the first round was a lot of me, me, me versus me, and a lot of ego of, oh, yeah, I don't really, this is cool. This sounds okay. But you get what you put out.
Mm.
So kind of set that tone.
So, this is amazing and incredible. So, you had the opportunity to come into the program. Do you remember reading the document that kind of listed out what the program was about?
The first time around,
Uh-huh.
I I couldn't 100% tell you. It was a year. September was September a year ago.
Uh-huh.
Uh, so not fully. I'd probably say
That's
like,
okay.
yeah.
That's okay. I'm not asking you for the details. I'm more asking you, like, do you remember who you were? Like, if you could
Oh,
describe that version of Geo, like, because he was an angry mofo.
yeah. I
So
do remember that. Yeah.
describe him in other terms. Like, how is he showing up in the world? What was he thinking about himself? What was he thinking about his family? What was he thinking about his
Yeah,
mom, where he grew up, and all that sort of stuff?
for sure. So, that version was telling himself a very negative story, and
Mm,
that version was not holding himself to a standard that he could. That version was rolling out of bed 10 minutes before he needed to be on a Zoom call and was just going to sleep super, super late, which is not what I do now. Um, that version just felt like he was just getting by, just waking up, just playing like play on a record tape every
mm,
single day and just going through the motions. At the time, I was not in what I'm doing now, running my own business. At the time, I was working as a working in the sales space, which to me was just very monotonous at the same time, just going through the motions over and over and over again. And I just felt like I was just ready for a change. So I feel
mm,
like the opportunity actually presented itself pretty interesting. I feel that you meet people in specific areas when you're supposed to meet them. And Liz is actually someone who I met on a sales call. I
mhm,
wasn't expecting to meet you, didn't know anything, but I just really enjoyed your energy. And
mm,
I was very grateful that I got to be able to carry that just beyond of a working relationship from that front.
mm. This is amazing and incredible. So, obviously you've been on a journey. If
Yeah.
you could describe, I guess, where you've arrived within yourself now to people, because there's a stark difference. And you're still on a journey, like we're still all on our own journeys. But how, if you could describe the difference in you now, how would you describe how you're showing up for yourself, your hopes, your dreams, your visions of the future, and all that sort of stuff? Where are you at now?
Yeah, I would say like right now, I've really just leaned into understanding that there's specific things that I want out of life. I won't speak for other people, but I'll speak for me.
Mm,
And I wasn't actually willing to sit in the emotion of what comes with pursuing those things because I would start to sit in it and then it didn't feel great and I would just pull back
mm,
every single time. One thing I've really embodied over the last several months, and I think I actually sent you something too, about this, is that the version of me now handles things very differently than the version of me 4, 6, even, a year ago. So I
mhm,
would say who I am now in terms of adversity, I don't like to always like throw out like I'm dealing with adversity, but just how I associate things is just I don't necessarily look at things as, oh, this is happening to me and I just hate life and this is miserable, but just understanding that it's for a moment and it's not actually going to be there forever. So I think just I guess you can call it leveling up, right? You're dealing with different tiers of things and the way that you can handle those things just allows you to keep going as you grow. So,
mm. Look, dude, I completely and utterly, oh my gosh, I love this. And I hear you. And I want to go a little deeper because
yeah.
there's obviously not everyone gets the opportunity to work in a VIP capacity. So we had some VIP time, which was blissful and beautiful and amazing. And in that particular journey, you went through what I would describe as a dark night of the soul, a deep valley of um, remembrance and reclamation and asking yourself some big life questions. And you were given a task to wear a backpack of your beliefs for a week. Can you describe sort of, because that was, I would describe that as a part of your journey that um, was probably not the most enjoyable part of the journey for you.
Yeah.
It was probably part where you faced your truth of what was holding you back in life. Do you want to describe to people that journey that you went through when you were at the gym and some big questions you were asking yourself? And just describe to people sort of what came out on the other side of that.
Yeah, I think that that's a really good question. So we're gonna get really deep. So this is
Yeah.
vulnerability at its finest. So
Yeah. Thank you for that, by the way,
um
because there are a lot of people that need to hear this particular part.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think one thing that really like hit me was just the ebbs and flows that comes with running a business in a
Mm,
way that I hadn't experienced before. Um, where there's parts of your business, seasons where you're like, man, I'm on top of the world,
mm,
business is great. And then you have seasons where you're looking and saying, what just happened? Like, how did we just have a complete 180? There's fires that you're constantly putting out. Business isn't doing as well in that specific period of time as you once were. And that brings a lot of stress. And I think that's the real test. The real test isn't let me scale my business to start making money because what happens when that money stops coming in? That's the real test. And I got hit with one of those really about like April of this year. Things just started to um, kind of occur. And it was really a time where we needed to adjust. And because of that, I think at the time, this was right before I actually started working with you, I felt like I was carrying all of this baggage every single day of I'm showing up for other people and my energy wasn't as great because it's like, oh, we have all these problems, we have all these fires, and I just wasn't enjoying life. Uh, I got to a point where every single like I was waking up every single day and there was a time I actually hadn't cried in 2 years. I hadn't cried in over 2 years. And I was working out in a gym, my gym, and I was just so stressed because of everything that was going on. And I actually was listening to an audio that you and I had actually worked on, where, for context, this audio is speaking to yourself in the future in terms of everything you've already accomplished. So you're speaking to yourself from a place that you've gotten all these things. I was just really, I was having a rough day. Um, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I started crying at the gym because I just felt like I was hopeless. I felt like there was no turning anything around in terms of where we're at. I was contemplating maybe this isn't for me. This isn't what I should be doing. And I played this audio. Actually, I should probably talk about what led me to wanting to play the audio. So I was sitting in the gym and I was just really, I think people have really bad days, and think sometimes people are just like one really bad day from just like checking out. And I think for me, I just had one of those really bad days where I didn't, um, just didn't see the point in me actually still waking up the next day. We'll kind of put it that way. Um, and I just played my future self audio when I felt like that, and I started crying. I actually texted you. Actually, no, you know what's funny? You texted me. Um, and you checked in on me, ironically, because I would have never said anything if you didn't message me. But you sent me a message as I was leaving the gym saying, "Hey, how are things going? Did you take the backpack off today?" And basically, every single day I take the backpack off when I work through those limiting beliefs. Um, it was in that, honestly, that very moment where I could have just caved in and just given myself a million reasons to not continue. And it really did feel a lot, it just felt like misery, quote unquote. I don't like to attach those kind of words, but it just didn't feel great. But had to remind myself everything that I wanted to be able, everything I'm working for and who I am and all the things that I haven't yet accomplished. And it's not always going to feel great. I think the story at that point, I was able to really shift the narrative. Um, Not only for you can you can work on yourself to be able to help future people. Yeah, that's great. And I think I learned that because this whole journey I was like, yeah, I want to be great for my future wife and I want to be great for my future kids. Yeah, that's cool, but worry about yourself right now. Who are you right now? And I think in that moment I really just decided that I'm just show up for myself right now. I deserve it, like for me, to just show up for me. And everything else that comes will just be a byproduct of showing up
Uh,
for myself.
dude, 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 thank you. Thank you for being raw, real, and honest. I just want to really honor you for that because there are people listening right now that have been or maybe are right now in the situation where they're like, I don't know where the fire truck I'm supposed to be going. I have been churning this. I've been going like, I feel like I'm skidding my wheels. Am I going in the wrong direction? Am I with the right person? What is life about? And it can be really horrible to walk through that journey. A couple of weeks later on a call, you had what could be described as an hallucinogenic, out of body, holy crap, what the fire truck, like wow experience on a call where you remembered some truth. Do you remember that moment?
I remember that moment. I remember that. Yeah.
Do you want to describe that for a second? Because that's when things started
Yeah.
to really shift and change.
Yeah. I think that um, it's really interesting when you realize, one thing I realized is that my brain has just been trying to keep me safe. And because of that, that is why or at least for me, I constantly played this story in my head over and over and over again because that's what my brain felt was truth. And that's what my brain felt was a way of keeping me comfortable. And I
Mm,
want to keep that, I want to water that down because I'm not really a scientific person by any means. But I think what I realize is that I have, or had, excuse me, so much resistance to do the work because it just felt comfortable to just stay where I was at. And I
mm,
think a big thing, and I use this constant example, um, it's like seeing a beautiful woman at a coffee shop and you want to go talk to her, but you don't because you at that point it's just all the fight or flight takes over all the stories that you play in your head. And that's like the most common situation that I was able to really correlate that to because it's like what if in this moment, when I feel this way, when I'm having this negative self-talk to myself, just in general, everything that you and I had worked on, the image, self-identity, all those things, what if I just actually chose to like not believe all the BS? And what if I actually just understood and just took it for what it is that all that negative talk, it's like a little kid who's like clawing at your foot. You don't have to pay it attention. It may be there, but that's not actually the truth. So when I had that happen, I think now I've really been able to put a lot of different things in a box that weren't in a box before because I understand now exactly like what is happening.
mm.
My true self, that true purest form. It's like I feel like to just close with this, it's like I feel like our hearts are genuinely pure and we mean well as people. But I think that the more we expose ourselves to the world and even are exposing ourselves to everything that we don't have, that's what creates the story. And that's what creates this negative narrative that we play in our minds, especially in entrepreneurship, right? It's like,
Mm.
oh, this person is doing this. Oh, I'm not married yet, yada, 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 whatever it might be. It's like, and you carry that with you. I think for me, when I kind of realized like, the more you're always looking at what you don't have, you'll never actually be able to like work on yourself right now to actually go a step forward to even get what it is that you want. So, yeah.
So, oh wow, this is amazing, dude. Wow. Like I obviously I love the crap out of you, and I would love to keep talking and going deeper on certain things. And I really want to make sure that the person listening and watching this right now is getting
Yeah.
value and seeing themselves in your journey. So, is it okay if I ask a couple more questions? Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Nice. So, working with me sometimes to people is it's sort of inexplicable. It's like, well, how do you describe it? How would you describe your two experiences of working with me? One was in the group. And like, how would you describe it? Like, what ways? I don't know, even know if there's adjectives. Like, how would you describe working with me and working in the Kapow journey?
Yeah. Any person that is, anyone can do this, but if you're a young man, okay, and you're 20 to 40, even 60 years old, you need to work with Liz, okay? Because I'm gonna just speak for myself. I had this, yeah, this is cool, but I've already done this self-development stuff. I had that mentality. Like my first go around, I think the group aspect was great. I think you get what you put into it, for example.
Mhm.
Um, I think that working with you on the one-on-one aspect and I worked with different coaches. That is one of the best experiences I've ever had in my entire life of really just diving deep into the BS that I just was consuming and feeding every single day and understanding and actually being able to understand why that was happening and understand how to actually get out of it. Those are
Mm,
two different things. Understanding why something is going on, but understanding how do you get out of this. That was the best experience, and I will 100% be doing it again at some point in time.
mm.
So, yeah,
That,
I can't rave about it anymore. Like this is a real smile. This isn't a stoic. The first go around at this, um, I didn't allow myself. Let me to answer your question, it was great. They're both great experiences. You get what you put into it. That's what I'll say. First round, I didn't really allow myself to lean into it fully, um, because I was scared. That's just all it was. I was just scared. The second round, I had nothing to lose. I just tried to go for it, and here we are. So,
That's amazing. So you've gone from, let's just talk like finances here for a second, because a lot of entrepreneurs, they're like, yeah, but does this work? Will this make me more money? And sometimes peace is what people are after, and you have certainly arrived at a version of you that's has more access to peace as opposed to like a lot of self-hatred. Like you're able to filter things through at an emotional level markedly differently. And from a financial standpoint, which is a great measuring stick, I mean, there were a couple of months where you were literally backwards in business in a period of time. And on Instagram, the other day, I just happened to see that my friend Geo is in a different financial position right now. So how would you describe your relationship with money and the ease that you have with money and income now? How are things going there?
yeah. So, like, the raw reality of it is like the I've been able to get myself. So the business, obviously, there's ebbs and flows. I would say like we were able to really ride that out, and now we're kind of coming out of that. I would say really the main reason is because of who I chose to show up as, and
Can you
not,
just say that one more time? Hold up. Hold, I just just one
yeah,
more time. That's important
yeah.
because
I
you've
would
done
say,
six figures, which is markedly different from where you were.
yeah. So our business on average does around like 80 to 100K a month on a given month. Um, we've been able to really work. And again, I'm from a full transparency standpoint, it's like we're by no means where we want to be,
Yeah.
but we've been able to actually get out of that situation that we were in because I would say greatly due to me and my business partner just deciding and making a decision of who we're showing up to be. I'd say
Mhm.
for me specifically, it's like just deciding to hold myself at a higher standard. So a
Mhm.
year ago, I talked about, oh, rolling out of bed before I like right before I take calls. I don't do any of that. I actually try and do stuff that's a little bit harder now to push myself. I run. So I run 5 miles every morning. I get up at 5 a.m. and I run 5 miles. Why do I want to run 5 miles? No. But actually, I do want to run 5 miles. The reason because it's like it's my outlet and I just enjoy it and it allows me to just start the day on a good note. And there's not going to be anything that I'm going to experience in the day that's going to be as tough as that run. But to get back to your point, not to be off on a tangent here, um, we've been able to get out of where we're at and we're able to be where we're at now because I just chose and I decided. And that is a reinforcement of my future self audios of who I am. Like this is it. Like I am the person. I'm doing the actions. It's already happened. So,
Oh, yes, yes. Like I couldn't be more happy, proud of you, and all that sort of good stuff. I just am so grateful because you're allowing me to impact the world in an amazing way by me assisting you and showing up for in your greatness and your fullness. Like you get to go out there and change the world in the most incredible, amazing geo ways. I have a question.
yeah.
What were some of the most, I guess, surprising things that you experienced that you wouldn't have ever anticipated that you've experienced through this work?
You know, it's interesting. It's this quote. Let me find it.
I love how raw, real, and honest this is. Behind the scenes, there's going to be zero editing of this. Gio's looking for the quote. It is
Yeah, no,
on.
this is no, where's it? It's like this quote. Oh, hold on. It's this one quote. It's like people don't rise to the level of their it's like actually, you know what? I actually real quick, I think I did write it down. Let me see. If not, I'm gonna butcher it. Um it's like people don't rise to the level of their expectations, they fall to the level of their training. It's like something like that. It's like one of those quotes. Um
Hmm.
and I feel like this is every single day I feel like you have to put on armor to be able to just go out in the world. And the armor is different for every single person. And for me, I think one thing that's really helped is when I wake up, I'm putting on my armor that is going to allow me to go about the day and actually have a very great day because it's what I need and it's reminding me of my truth specifically. So that's that's literally it. I mean, yeah, I just had a lot of ego at the beginning of this journey, and now I realize that the ego is just keeping me where I'm at. So, and not where I really want to be at. So,
So, dude, thank you, thank you, thank you for having this conversation. Is there anything else that you just know on your heart that a person listening and watching, if they're still listening and watching right now, after the 5,000 hours it took to find that quote that we didn't eventually find?
I know, I know.
So, if there are people listening and watching right now still, they're probably going, okay, this is great, but I still have something like another question. Is there something on your heart, Gio, that you would love people to know about what the experience was like? Because there are a lot of other coaches out there, there are a lot of other people out there. Is there anything else that you feel called to say and share?
Yeah. There are a lot of coaches. I will say that. I'll speak to you though. Um, I naturally am someone who feels very misunderstood. So if there's anybody who's listening to this who feels like maybe you just misunderstood, maybe your family doesn't understand you the way that you want. I've been in relationships where I've naturally just felt misunderstood. I really appreciate that you actually understood me and you held space for me. And because you held space for me, you allowed me to make a transformation because the transformation is you giving me the space for me to decide, but giving me the tools because you understood me to allow me to do that. And I've never gotten that in all honesty. And I wouldn't say that to say that. So This this was the best experience that I have ever had with a coach who has helped me make a breakthrough at my some of my legitimate lowest points. So,
Oh, I'm on the verge of crying right now. Tears of gratitude. Um, and just, I'm so very grateful. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to see you. You are truly beautiful, truly amazing, truly just. I'm so excited for the rest of your life and to get to witness you continue to transform and step into your future self day in, day out, and remind yourself of your truth and your power. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being with me today. And yeah, just thank you so much.